Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Dan Carlicchio. I want to welcome you back to another segment of Destination Health Podcast, Finding Function in a Dysfunctional World. I have one of my best friends on today, and I'm very excited about our conversation. And we're going to keep it clean, and we're going to have a good time, and we're going to discuss, we're going to motivate, we're going to educate, and we're going to inspire. Dr. Brandie is on today. Everybody knows she's a chiropractor. She deals with chiropractic with pregnant females. She's written a book. I won't tell you what my opinion of her book is, but that's okay. It's a beautiful book. I want you to buy the book. All right, whether you're a chiropractor or you're a lay person and you're thinking about getting pregnant, seriously. And we'll put that in the show notes, okay, where you can purchase that book. But we're going to be talking about something a little bit different today. It's been a bit since Brandie and I have had a podcast, although we do speak on a regular basis. So Dr. Brandie, welcome back.
Thank you
to the podcast. How are you today?
I'm doing awesome. It's nice to talk to you again with Zoom.
Yeah. It's Zoom, right? I think we did a Zoom last week or a FaceTime last week.
We did. That was interesting. Yeah.
Yes, it was. Anywho.
Thank you for your help with that situation.
You're welcome. I'm always here to help. So anyway, what's going on in your life? What's doing? I'm interested to know, and I know that the listeners are interested to know what's going on with you.
Yeah, so I wanted to come on and talk about something that worked for me. I know people don't look at resolutions very well, but you can see them in a new house from our last podcast, and new last name, and a lot of stuff new. So at the beginning of 2021, I had reached a breaking point, even though I had tremendous success with my businesses and just anything that I wanted. I'm a good manifester. Anything I want, I get. I'll go after and work my ass off to get. There's a cuss word. It's the first one, 36 seconds in. But yeah, so like one thing here's the second one. So I came across this thing called the hell yes philosophy, because I think a lot of people are stuck in their lives, and it was the most effective resolution I ever made. It was one of the hardest things I've ever done, but it's better than being stuck. I think there's an expression that says that you're not a tree, you can get up and move. Mm-hmm. So I literally flipped my entire life over and developed a new life that's built on what I wanted instead of what I should be doing. And I think a lot of people are really bound up by what they think other people think that they should do, or they're in situations where somebody else is happy with them and they're not so much happy in the situation. And I think it's just a gut check of like, you only get one life. So do you use that with your practice? Like in terms of people that you find that they're very stuck in their situation and they feel like everybody else is oppressing them and they don't see their destiny in their hands. So I wanted to talk about that, especially as
I think that's a great conversation, because as you know, Dr. Brandie, Dr. Brandie, just Brandie, Dan.
Yeah, so, that's just call me Brandie. It's cool.
Yeah. There was a song, Brandie. Anyway.
That's what I'm named after. Unfortunately, it's like, I'm not a huge.
Are you?
Yeah.
So, our motto is to motivate, educate, and inspire. Mm-hmm. Even though we're colleagues and we're friends, we were thinking about a podcast and what can we do to inspire somebody, because you don't know who is listening into the podcast. It could be anybody. It could be somebody that's having a tough time. It could be somebody that is stuck in their own life. And we find that, we find that in our patients that they're stuck. We find that in our own life. We find individuals around us, family members that are just stuck. And, I'm thinking about a patient that is that potential patient that came to me last week, and of course I can't use their names. Stuck. I mean, 5 different medications, and I agree he needs to take the medications, but he's stuck. He doesn't want to change his lifestyle. So for breakfast, we were away. I don't know if we're in Minnesota or Hartford. I think I'm in Boston this weekend for hockey, Brandie, and stuck in his ways and unable to get out of having his heart attack and so forth and so on. And he's taking 5 different medications, 6 different medications 4 years after his heart attack. And his cardiologist wants him to stop, but he won't. One night was macaroni and sausage. And then 10 hours later at breakfast, it was pancakes, 6 of them, fruit on top with some whipped cream and home fries, takes the fruit off, puts it to the side and puts the syrup on it, and I'm looking at him, and they're vaping.
Yeah.
And so I said, your cardiologist said to you that you can't walk. I said, you're stuck.
Yeah.
You have an obstacle. And then you can look at it and you can say that I have a 14-year-old, as you very well know, who plays hockey at a pretty high level, at a very high level. And he gets stuck, and I had to help him through, because in his mind, he was going through a tough time. And so he wants to take it to the next level. He wants to be proud of himself, and he wants to make dad proud, in addition to, which is fine, I said to him, but you have to figure out what brings you to that next level. So people are stuck in their lives. You get stuck, I get stuck, right? We all get stuck. So hell yes, tell us about this. What happened, and what was your transformation into changing your last name and, being Brandie Keates?
Yeah. No, I think from the outside, in our society with Facebook and Instagram, like, it's funny, like the number one thing after I ended my 26-year marriage was like, wow, you guys look so happy. And I think people think things or make judgments. There's nothing fake about anything that I posted, but I think one of the biggest things that I had a big aha this weekend when I was cleaning out my plants, because it's turning into fall. And I have this tray of succulents that I have on my deck. And from the outside, there's like beautiful plants, right? Particularly, there's one beautiful plant that looked healthy and vibrant. And I went to unplant it. It's in this little small container. And the roots are like busting out of the bottom. Like literally, this thing is shoved in this container. And I was like, wow, that's a really good analogy for my life and my marriage specifically, is there's nothing wrong with the container. In my case, there was nothing wrong with the container. I was a plant that was really into growth, and I took in a lot of sun, and I do a lot of personal development and working on myself and working on my shadow self and everything. I want to be the best person that I can be. And the plant was dying. Like if I had left that plant in the container that it thought it should stay in, that it came in, it would have died. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think until you expose the roots and expose that container no longer worked for me. When people say, why did your marriage fall apart? Why did you leave a marriage that looked seemingly like you guys were friends? And again, my husband is the container. There's nothing wrong with my ex-husband. It's just I outgrew the situation. I was a different person than I was at 22 years old. Now I'm 49 years old. I'm not embarrassed to say that. So
Brandie, I'm 60 years old.
Dude, you look great.
Thanks. So do you. So you know what? I was
I
at the
don't
gym.
care. I think age is a number, but
Yeah, I was at the gym this morning, and I was rocking with the young kids, and they were like Dr. Dan, wow, you're pretty strong, still.
I like to pick up heavier weights than all the guys, just to mess with them.
All right, we're gonna have to work out one day. Let's see if you can bench as much as I can.
I will beat you, but I think it's important not to game on. It's important not to like assess blame. Like I can only make decisions for my own life, but I can tell you, I made a list of like stuff that I really was a hell yes for me, and stuff that just no longer served me. And one of my mentors, his name's Dave Braxton. He's one of my best business friends. And Aaron, shout out to Aaron, was my assistant over the summer. Like, he's like, I was a president of an ambulance, and I said, I really want to quit. This is draining me. And he's like, I said, but I need to do this. And he said, who says you need to do? You already did it. Like you accomplished it. You tagged it. You hit the high. Because to me, that was like the highest in professional success. Being on boards, it didn't serve me anymore. It didn't fit. I outgrew it, just like the container. And I think it's really important to stop sometimes. I think we put more planning into vacations and
in our life,
having for dinner and reservations, and we do our own life to step back and say, is this working for me? And I think tuning into, I think we're such a culture that numbs things through watching Netflix or vaping or eating. I've used drinking Diet Cokes as a way of like numbing yourself. TikTok, huge number for me. But like, instead of just actually facing or checking in with yourself and saying, is this working? And then it creeps up on you, and then you're like sick. You're actually sick from your life. And one of my big mentors in chiropractic is Dr. Tim Maggs, and his thing that I use in practice all the time is to turn up the good and turn down the bad. Like you have to make a change. You can't just keep doing the same shit. So it's like you need to do something differently, and making a list of the stuff that's like immediately draining you is the quickest way to start. And I'm not saying to end a marriage, that somebody didn't want to end the marriage is not easy, you know, and
Right.
it was, but it's worth it. Like being on the other side, moving my house, you know, like I literally flipped my whole life over, but even
But it was
though,
a conscious thought. It wasn't something that you just
no,
decided to
I put a
do.
lot, it took me 3
It was
years to
something
really
that
work
was
for that. Yeah.
developing, and you were transforming. And we're not talking about, for all of our listeners, you just wake up one morning and it's
No,
done. You may wake up one morning and you may feel uncomfortable because,
right.
you know, as one of my mentors, Michael Burnoff says, you know, you're comfortable and then you get uncomfortable at times in life. Then you become uncomfortable, then you get comfortable.
But that's good sometimes to be uncomfortable because it makes you change.
In the areas of being uncomfortable in your life,
Right.
you have significant growth. And you know, he's my coach, one of them. I mean, you know, I also belong to the Mastermind Mindshare,
Yep.
and boy, are they making me as comfortable. I've never been so uncomfortable in my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know what? My father, and you and I have discussed my dad before, you know, growing up in this immigrant family, what I learned in success is that how comfortable you are being uncomfortable.
Mhm.
Because when you're going through growth and you have that uncomfort, you need to be comfortable in that. And that just means that you need to take it on, you need to acknowledge it, you need to be aware of it, and you need to move forward with it, because life will throw you lessons, whether you believe in a higher being, whether you believe in the universe, whatever it is that you believe in, the lessons for growth, personal growth, whatever you want to call that, will keep coming back. And each lesson gets a little bit more severe if you don't learn the
Just
lesson
like back
from
pain, just like back pain with what we do. If you ignore
right.
it, it's going to keep, like, if you don't address it. I think the biggest lesson for me this year was boundaries. I didn't have a lot of boundaries before because I think we're just taught to smile and be nice and accept what other people do. And it's just important to understand who you are and what you'll tolerate, even if it's painful. And if you check in with somebody, I think any relationship, that's another good test if it's a hell yes, is if you can't talk to somebody and they don't respect your boundaries, they're not the right person for you.
That's right.
Like if you find somebody that is a right person, they will work with you. They'll do anything they can to work with you.
And it's on both sides, Brandie, right?
And
It's
you
just
have
not,
to, because
yeah,
nobody's
it's on both
perfect.
sides.
Yeah.
It's just not one person doing that.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Two
This is
sides,
an
yeah.
interesting point, because we all get caught up in this, where we're a good friend, a good partner, good husband, good wife, whatever that is, good parent to somebody that doesn't reciprocate at all, right?
You can't
And I
work with
have
that.
two
You can't work
friends.
with that.
Yeah, I have two friends that are like this
Mhm.
at each other right now, and one of them is like this with me because of that situation. And you know, you and I were discussing it beforehand, and it's become toxic. So you know, you got to make a decision. Do you stay? Do you go? You know, do you cut bait?
It's hard. It's really hard, but you have to like honor yourself. And I think
Right.
I stayed a lot of years because it's what you should do. It's what people think. What are people going to think? You know, and I have nothing negative to say about my ex. It just, I outgrew the situation and he was unwilling to work with me to change. Like, I think both of us were unwilling at that point to, and it took a year, you know, and
Right. It doesn't happen.
Yeah.
These things don't happen. You just wake up, next thing you know, you're signing a paper
no,
and you're
no.
buying a house. It just, you know, that's just not the way that this goes. You know,
But
it's
important
interesting
not to
that
beat yourself up. It's important not to beat yourself up. It's important to respect their autonomy, that they can choose to make their own decision. Like he made a choice, I made a choice, we're adults, you know. And I think it's like those books that you have in 4th and 5th grade that we had, like those choose your own adventures. Sometimes you wish you could go back.
Well, they had those in Pennsylvania, New Jersey.
Oh, come on. That's BS.
In
Yeah, I love
Pennsylvania,
that.
in New Jersey, in my area, it was much different books.
I know you don't read. No, I'm joking.
No, we didn't read, by the way.
They didn't have picture books of choose your. No, I'm joking.
No, there was no picture books. We were on Bloomfield Avenue in Newark.
I'm making fun of New Jersey. I'm throwing a little shade to New Jersey. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
No.
You can do that.
No, but like it's important to own your decisions. Like you can only make the best decision that you can, and it's like.
So, what were the obstacles that you had to overcome when you were going through all of this for you personally? What were the obstacles? What were 2 or 3 obstacles that you had to overcome?
I think it's hard to disappoint people or to
Right.
Make a decision yourself that affect. I hate making decisions that affect other people, which as a CEO is kind of that's why I hate HR so much. I hate HR. I love the positive parts about it, but if I have to fire you, I'm going to find you a job before I fire you because I don't want to hurt you. I'm weird, but like I don't like affecting.
And for those of us listening, for those of you listening today, I will attest that she's weird, but she's a good weird though. It's all good.
Weird, but like I don't like leaving people in a worse place, and I think it was hard for me to say, no, I matter. My thoughts matter. I know it's really crazy because I'm very financially successful and I'm not bragging. So you can have that on
Brandie.
Personally, you just feel like
you serve humankind very well.
No, but I really care that I don't, and if it's not a good fit, it's sometimes it's heartbreaking because you're like, did I make the right choice? It doesn't feel, I think the biggest lesson I learned too is that boundaries don't feel good. But like they're not, everyone thinks that boundaries are empowering. You're like, yes, I'm proud of myself. And you're not, you're sitting there alone and you're just like, you almost feel like you have too many rules, like you have too high expectations, but I have huge plans for my life. And it's really important that who I'm with is a map of, like I have a map of consciousness in my closet. And it's like, I want to operate at a certain level, and to operate at that level, I need to have people with me that I can trust and that respect, and I respect. And I think that it's important that, as I said, if you can't talk to somebody basic, to come to the same page with somebody, it's not, you need to check yourself and be like, it's nothing wrong with them. It's just not a good fit. Whether it be an employer, whether it be a relationship, whether it be a marriage, it's just important to understand, like we were talking about with your diets, specifically with people that come to you for nutritional advice. If you have somebody that we talked about this a little bit earlier, if you have a partner that's like sabotaging you and saying awful stuff to you, and you choose to stay in that, like, I think it's really important to see your role in something that you are allowing others. And I think I allowed others to hold me prisoner. Do you know what I'm saying? Because you love them and you care about them and you're willing to tolerate some stuff. But at one point, if they're not for your highest self, it's probably not a good fit. It's if they don't want what's best for you or make fun of your efforts in losing weight or trying to get healthy, that's not a person that I want to be with.
Right. I understand what you're saying. And I know people, and, I've had the experience where, people, they like to feel better about themselves. So they call people losers, or maybe they had a very difficult life. And I look at it and I don't take it much further than saying, who made fun of you?
See, I call that shit out.
Yeah. Were you bullied? And are you
tolerate that?
Right. And are you now, putting it out on somebody else? And I'm the type of a person that doesn't tolerate that.
Oh, I call it out.
Right. I don't tolerate it.
Yeah.
And I'll call it out. And sometimes
I try sarcasm first.
Sometimes
like, you just call me what? And I'll smile at them. And if they keep it up, I'm not dealing with that.
Right.
Shit.
And sometimes I don't say anything, Brandie.
Yeah.
And I just smile and I walk away.
Yep.
Next thing you know, there's
no contact. Yeah.
Yeah. There's no contact or
follow up or energy. You don't put energy into somebody like that.
Right. And I move forward. Then all of a sudden it's like this. Oh, you did this and you did that. You did the other thing. It's not my problem that you have a low opinion of somebody or whatever the case may be. I'm strong enough where I smile sometimes, or sometimes I'll make fun too, right? And I'll use that. I said, what did you say?
Yeah, my team will call it checking. Like being a paramedic, I'll check somebody once or twice. And if you're still an a-hole, I'm done. I'll just walk away.
That's the third one.
That didn't count.
That's okay. All right. We'll figure that out. So anyway, it's important. I like this hell yes thing. It
really was the best resolution I ever had, because I think, and I still, now it's the higher level because it's a different letter, which I'm not going to say in your pot. This year is the F, but
I get it. I think that all of my people, they understand it.
The F is for 4. But I think it's important when you make a decision, like even something stupid, Dan, I'm a total introvert. If somebody says if he said let's go out, let's go to a baseball game or something like that, and I'm like, yeah, I'll go. If it's not a hell yes, like that's a no. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think I think you only get one life. So everything you do needs to be a hell yes.
Yes. And I think that's
You shouldn't
important.
waste
And
your time with schmucks and like people that steal your energy or treat you like
does
crap.
schmucks count as number 5?
No, that's
No.
not, is that a bad word in New Jersey? Yeah, that's not a bad word in Pennsylvania. Yeah.
So this is important because for everybody that's listening in, we're talking about manifesting what you want in your life, right? You don't want to be stuck. You do want to develop personally, and whatever that means for you. Everybody's different when it comes to that. You want to have a transformation, and everybody has these obstacles that are before them, and they always do this. I'm talking, and you and I discussed this before.
Yeah.
I'm dealing with a former patient who is a professional athlete, and they're very stuck until I got them unstuck. I'm not a psychologist or
No,
psychologist.
neither of us are. We play one on TV though.
Right. So
Yeah.
so I'm just helping them out as a friend, and they were able to overcome some obstacles, and now they got significant momentum. And she said, this is uncomfortable. And I smiled and I said,
People
you know
stop.
what?
Yeah, then they stop.
I said, it's okay to be uncomfortable because that will get you up in the morning, and that's take action. You want to have self-respect
Right.
for yourself. You
Well,
don't want to tolerate.
Yeah, it ties into being a chiropractor because they say with what we do, it's 80% stress. And I'm sure you can attest to this, like how many people hate their life or hate their job or they just hate their spouse. And it manifests as physical. Like people don't realize, like I used to not understand, like a nervous breakdown is like, I say it's like too much, I'm gonna say a different word, too much stuff on your nervous system. And it's like a trash compactor where it like overloads. Like first ribs in my practice is like a fever blister where somebody like totally blows out and your body just shuts down and says enough. Like if you're going to keep putting up with this crap and being stressed out with your shoulders around your neck and clenching your jaw, I'm going to blow you out and I'm going to make you take a break. So I think, working back before it blows out and understanding that your psychology affects your physiology. I think that like I have wood all around me. I have an extruded disc in my neck. I have not had an episode in over a year, which it was blowing every 6 months because of either HR. So it's like clenching my teeth. So it's like, it's really important to make modifications in your life. Again, turning up the good and turning down the bad. And you need to look at what is stealing your energy the most and get rid of it, because nothing in life, I mean, as much as we talk about being uncomfortable and all that stuff, jobs, people should not be sucking your energy. You should be like, when you leave a conversation with your boss or a coworker, it should build you up. When you leave work every day, you should feel fulfilled, at least 80% of the time. If every day you leave your job and it just sucks, you're in the wrong job. You need to change your mindset, change your perspective.
Or you're going to fire everybody, get rid of everybody, and get people in there that are going.
I did that during COVID. I did that during COVID. I let go of 3/4 of my team because I had no batteries left. And I literally said to them, I have no batteries for this, for your toxicity, for your negativity, and I just need to let you go. And
it sounds like you've been in a major transformation for the last
and I'm very happy.
24 months. I'm very happy for you.
Thank you.
What did you specifically do? What was it? What strategies or tools for success did you use to make this transformation? Was it some people meditate, some people journal, some people have a vision board. You and I were talking about a 90-day plan. We're going to be accountability partners for that. What specific techniques did you use that you sat there and said, okay, I've had enough of this stuff. All right. See, I said stuff too. You had enough of this stuff. I want to change my life. And, these are the strategies. These are the tools for success that I'm going to use. What did you use?
Yeah, I literally just took a 8x11 sheet of copier paper and drew a thing down the center of it of like 10 things I need to stop doing immediately. And I just made a list. And I did not drink. I thought I considered drinking, but I was like, Mel Robbins. I love Mel Robbins. She has that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I just was like, do it. And you sit there and you send the email, like quitting a board or quitting stuff. And you get the response back and you're like, oh my God, like, they're going to be mad at me or I'm going to disappoint them. Or no, this is my life. So like sitting through that was uncomfortable, but staying in a situation where you leave a meeting every time and you're drained, is not the way I want to live. I had no, I think for me, just a mental picture is like your cell phone with your battery. I had no batteries left. But at the beginning of 2021, like I wanted to just like quit. And as I said, I had everything. I had everything that anybody would want. I was miserable. And until I started doing, because I was doing what everybody else wanted me to do and what I thought they should be doing. And it's just, I think, as I said, having people in your life that are cool with you winning too, and that you matter too, is, I mean, it sounds stupid, but it just, in marriage, it's easy to get lost within yourself. Do you know what I'm saying? And being a boss is you do everything for your team. And I think just developing I went to Italy this year. Like that was a top bucket list selfish thing that I did. And it just, I needed to.
You were on the rooftop, you were
drinking
wine, you're looking out at the Mediterranean.
That was life changing. It was just,
when I saw those pictures and you were sending them to me, I was like,
so happy. Yeah.
I was looking at this and I was like, this is the motherland for me, and you're there.
Yeah, never been there.
And your maiden name is Keates, and I'm Cartalicchio. I'm like, what's that all about?
Italian in me at all, but like I felt like such home there, and it's just like you want to go back. You want more of that. You know, I felt alive, and it's just I think you need to do more things that make you feel alive. And if you realize you only have so many batteries, if you notice people are tapping your batteries, your job is tapping your batteries, your diet can tap your batteries. You need to identify, like I love carbs, I love butter, but when I eat that I feel awful. So is it worth the cost of my batteries?
I'm going to help you out with that. Don't worry about it. So you're welcome.
I'm pretty healthy. Yeah.
You know what? Well, I'm going to make you really healthy. So listen, we have to have you around a long time. You have a lot to give to the world. So it's one of those situations where, you know, you and I are probably never going to retire. You know, I'm going to be reading blood work somewhere on the beach because I love the ocean. You know, you're going to be adjusting somebody and then we're just going to go right there. It's going to be like, oh, what happened to them? Well, just shovel me off and, you know, kids take over at that point. So I understand what you're saying because without writing it down, I've been going through a transformation myself. And there's 3 seats up this election campaign, and my name is always thrown in for to run, and that I'm a politician. I've held many different positions before. It's something I love to do, right? I really do love it, and I love helping out. I love making policy. We all identify with a party, but once I'm elected, I'm not one, I'm not the other, I'm for the people. That's the way I was taught, because you're for the people. It's just not that the party that I belong to only benefits, everybody benefits from that. I have my ideas that way. And I really love being up on that dais. I love, running for the mayor position. I love debating. I love, national politics. I grew up in an era where the Cold War, every day we were, glued to some, outlet where you can get news from. I don't do that anymore. I get it from different sources, but it wasn't fun anymore. And I decided that I needed to take a break. Maybe I'll go back with it, Brandie. Maybe I won't go back with it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if local politics is for me anymore. And so listen, if the opposing party is going to bring this out, if they're listening to my podcast, good, because I hope that it helps you out, number one. And number two, sometimes you got to take a step back in life, no matter what that is. It's not my profession, even though I love it. And you can use this against me because we could debate about it. And I won't say any more about that because then I'm going to eviscerate you in the debate about it. So, so anyway, but I decided that I needed to take a step back because other things needed my attention, like my son. Right. And I need to be with him. I have no time to campaign. Brandie, I've been in Pittsburgh. I've been in Minnesota. I was in Hartford last weekend.
It's the most important thing. You don't get
this
that time
weekend.
Back.
Yeah, I'm going to Boston. And you know what, Brandie? We got word today. And you don't know how happy I was this morning. We got word today. Our first game is not till Saturday at 12:40. 4 hours to Boston from where I am in New Jersey. Brandie, we're leaving at 6 o'clock in the morning. I get to stay in my house
a
full night instead of going Thursday, Friday. He doesn't get to miss school. Then I'm in Arizona, and then I'm in Minnesota after that. So the election cycle is done at that point. I have no
You
time
always
to
go back
campaign.
to it. You only have, there's a book called 18 Summers. Like you get 18 summers with your kids. I think that hit me the first time when my daughter left for college. It destroyed me because it's like you give your whole life to your kids and they're the light of your life. And then
It is a book that
Mhm.
Michael Burnoff talks
It's
about.
great. It's a great book.
If you know who Michael Burnoff is,
Yeah.
right? And he had said to us, 6 months ago, in the summertime, right? In the summertime, take your kids to the beach, have experiences. Of course, you're going to teach them how to mulch and you're going to teach them how to do this. You're going to teach them how to do that. But that can't be their entire summer because you get 18 summers with your kids and then you don't get any more summers with them because you know what? They're off to college.
Yep.
And when they come back from college, for the summer, they're going to be working. Maybe they have their significant other. They're going to be training all the time. My son, if he's, hopefully he's still playing hockey, Brand, and he's going to be training. So,
you want them to be self-sufficient, but I think it ties back into what we're talking about is like, even what I did this year was messy, but at the same time, one of the inspirations, I've been in therapy for 4 years, trying to work through this weekly. And it's like, she hit me right. I'm going to not say where she hit me, but she hit me somewhere really hard. And she said, because I kept saying, I want to stay for the kids. And she's just, she's like, do you realize you're showing your kids, this is what they deserve.
Right.
And you realize you're showing your kids, this is how you live, is that you eat, I almost said a different number 8. You eat stuff from other people. Like you need to be treated with respect and boundaries. And like, that's how you show your kids how to live instead of eating it. I think we eat it. You don't have to be offensive or mean or it just doesn't. Yeah, you have to be you have to consciously be a good role model for your kids of how to live a life and how to thrive and how to have grit and how to stand back up and how to screw up and say you're sorry. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's important to, like we said, be sort of like how we were raised. It's important to have accountability and to take responsibility instead of just numbing everything. It's critical to teach our kids to be a good role model, that to live your best life.
And we can teach them that in the decisions that we make, especially that word grit. My son, and people know this, so this is not something that I'm saying that people don't know. He had a couple of rough years in 6th and 7th grade, and
it's an awkward age.
He dealing with different situations at the house and so forth and so on. And he had a very difficult time. And so he had to take some courses over the summer and he shined. Came home, he studied, he did this, he did that. And now he's, at CBA, which is Christian Brothers Academy. And, initially it was for hockey, but now he's like, I'm going to get a great education too. And he's in his first year. And you can see how he's doing well in every course.
He's thriving.
Right, he's thriving. One course he's struggling in, and math has always been his nemesis. But he goes, I need help. So he told the teacher, I need help. He's going for help.
Yep.
He called up, a former teacher to get help. So the decision-making process, that prefrontal cortex, that grit, that you show them by making this, by making decision, Brandie. That okay, my container. There's nothing wrong with my container, but the container is not for me. I've made a decision. They're going to see that and they're going to say, oh, look at mom made a great decision. Now I need to make decisions because I'm learning from that. Hopefully the other person that's involved, whether it's a friend, a spouse, a significant other, has that maturity level and are growing also to make those decisions so that they can show individuals. My struggle is that, I grew up in a tough environment, being in an Italian household from immigrants, they look at you and you just ran to your room and you're like, uh-oh, am I getting the beating today? Is it the spoon? Is my mother going to take off the slipper? My mother was lethal.
The fly swatter in our family.
Oh my goodness. No, you know what? The Italian family was the wooden spoon.
Nice.
Anybody would tell you that wooden spoon or that slipper came off. My mother,
it's like
she was the first.
That's awesome.
She was the first ICBM. I could be 3 blocks away, running away from her on Bloomfield Avenue. She would hit me in the back of the head exactly on the dime.
That explains a lot. Yeah.
Yes, it does. Thank you very much. I set you up for that, and I was hoping that you would actually, fall for that. So what's going on for the next year, 6 months to a year? What are your goals? What do you want to do?
So we're moving into a bigger office, almost 6,000 square feet with 17 treatment rooms. I'm
I
developing.
think I'm going to come work for you, Dr.
You should.
Keates.
I need 2 more doctors. And I'd like to
Well,
open my other
do you
office
need
again.
somebody to do some functional medicine there?
Maybe, yeah, we all need that. But
Well,
yeah.
you're like the president of Pennsylvania there, right? When it comes to the chiropractors, it's like you're like the godfather, right? Or the godmother.
I'm the godmother. I'm the sugar mama of
Right.
Pennsylvania.
So I could just walk in and I just pay the fee and I get my license, right?
No, dude, come on.
All right. I
But,
tried.
yeah, I'm developing a proof of concept with so I applied sports medicine to pregnancy. So I'm having a wing of the 6,000 square feet be Bloom at Experience, where there's research specifically geared towards sports medicine with pregnancy.
That's wonderful. I love that.
And then I'm going to compete against my own business with Bloom centers. So like if you've heard of Red Ocean or Blue
Sure.
Ocean, is to compete against my main chiropractic office, because I think both are unique. And when you compete against your own business, you actually do better. So that is in the next 6 months. I'm going to be hiring 2 docs. And then in terms of personally, I'm going back to Italy. I want to go back to Italy. I want to go to Greece. I want to travel more. And
You see, Italians are really good. It's just, you cannot not have an Italian in your life.
No, you're my token one. Yeah. So
Not the first time.
Everybody's an Italian friend. So
yeah.
No, but yeah, I'm very
excited. All right.
excited.
So what I'm thinking, Dr. Brandie, is that we need to put together a functional medicine aspect of this for pregnant females. I think that's important because people don't know what to eat and what's good and what's healthy.
This is true, yeah.
And then my wheelhouse, my avatar is cardiometabolic dysregulation. We can have another section.
Say that quickly 3 times. Yeah.
Do I have to take part 4 of the boards? I have part 3.
You do. Yeah, you do.
And then I take the spec exam.
We're really smart over here in Pennsylvania. Like we really are. They really care about your applying for a license. So you need part 4. Yeah. And yeah. But
that means I got to take like a review course and all of that.
I would teach you. Yes. It's all
good. Would you help me out with that?
I was a tutor,
because I've been practicing maybe 10 to 15 years longer than you. That makes me 100.
Oh, rub it in. Okay. Yeah.
And I forget things.
You've been practicing since you were 12. So yeah. Yeah. You're like the Duke Master of chiropractic. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I hope people got something out of this.
So that's a professional business goal. What's a personal goal?
I just want to be happy. Like I really want to continue to work on myself and get myself. I'm back at Orange Theory again every day, and just be the healthiest example for my. I want to stick around for my kids. Like I am what my kids have, so it's like I want to be the best version that I can. I want to be around a long time. I want to see their kids, and the only way I can do that is being the healthiest version of myself. So it's important.
You know what? My son said to me not too long ago, Dad, he goes, I'm going to make you proud. I'm going to make your grandpa one day. I said, whoa, you're only 14, buddy.
I love that kid.
I said, buddy, you're only 14. So I said, you're not doing that today. Okay. So I said, listen, you got to go to college.
Yep.
In 7 years, I'll be 68. Right. And then when you're graduating college, if you go college right away, because hockey players, they go to juniors first.
Yep.
And then when they're 20, they'll go to college. Yep. So I may be in my early 70s when you're out, then you gotta find somebody a couple of years. I mean, I may not be 75 until you get married. So I want to be around.
Yeah.
That's why I was
benching. You want to play with your grandkids. Like
I want to play with my great grandkids, not my grandkids, even if I'm in the wheelchair tour for Dr. Dan.
I push you. I'm not,
Yeah, you're gonna push me. You're gonna
or off a cliff.
I can imagine that. Like, okay. You're like pushing me from behind and I'm sitting there like this and, I'm not making fun, but, and then, we're going along and then you just smile and you just pull me over. You just tip the thing over and, I'm lying there in a pool of blood. You're like, anyway. All right. So what other goals do you have? So that's a professional goal. You got a personal goal. What other goals?
Yeah, just getting so I'm building webinars for OBGYNs, physical therapists.
Yep.
Chiropractors, patients. So I have a webinar platform based on my books. And then I'm also selling material. Like I have 2 websites, one for employers, one for doctors. So if you go to your OB and you're having problems, they can send you to a site where they can get resources, because I'm very passionate about people helping themselves and teaching man to fish. So it's like, there's so much stuff you can do on your own with sports medicine. It's just sharing that knowledge. So it's just having that for employers and for doctors. So I have a lot going on, and I'd like to get the other 2 books done. One's a partner book and one's a 4th trimester book. And then my book is being translated into Spanish. So I can help more women. So
you are a mover and a shaker. I'm proud that you
when
are.
when I run, I'm a mover and a shaker. I don't run very much. So yeah. But
so
I like
anyway,
busy, yeah.
Anyway, I'm proud to call you my friend.
Thank you.
You know, Brandie is one of my best friends, and you can see why. I mean, she's definitely somebody that wants to help change the world, which I love, and so do I. So listen, I know that you have a hard stop, right?
Yeah, it's been real, it's been fun, but it hasn't been real fun.
Yeah, right. That's something that we said back in the 60s. I mean, you know.
I was around in the 60s.
What's that?
I was 73. 73.
I was in maybe high school at that time, Brandie. Or I was in 7th grade or 8th grade or something like that.
Are you a boomer,
Listen,
Dan?
what's that?
Are you a boomer?
I am a boomer.
Oh my God, why are we friends?
Hi, that's right. You're not a boomer.
Gen X can't be friends with boomers.
Oh wow, listen, you and I are good friends. So it's
They're a good friend, yeah.
it's a situation where this boomer and that Xer are good friends. I'm a boomer. Boomers ended in 65, 66. I was 62. So yeah, we're friends. So you know what? You know what we're gonna do, Brandie, is in a couple of months, you know, towards the end of the year, let's have another podcast and let's talk about some of this stuff more, and let's see what we've done, and we can share to the audience what we've accomplished, what we're doing, and how we're moving the needle forward.
Yeah.
You know, so that we can help motivate, educate, and inspire. So beginning of December.
Yeah,
I'm sure I'll talk to you a couple of times before that, but
I think
you know,
you will, yes.
yeah. So, you know, so we can do that, and we'll have a little fun when it comes to that, and we'll help out some.
We'll have a friendly wager.
What's the friendly wager?
I don't know. Yeah.
All right, I'll think about it, and I'll let you know what the wager is. You know why?
Yeah.
I'm the CEO.
So am I.
Oh my goodness.
2 companies. How many do you have?
4. And it's growing. Hopefully, one of my goals is to have not so much of the brick and mortar, but to have the webinars and to have the summits.
I want to be a digital nomad. That's my goal.
Right, because what happens is that you can reach more people that way, and you
I
can
just
help
want to
out.
be free. I want to live in Italy, or Greece, or.
I don't know if we have a place outside of Naples still, or I think it's in Palermo. Anyway.
Yeah. So.
We'll go visit.
All right, dude.
All right, Dudette. Dr. Dudette, thank you very much for being on. It's always great talking with you. I want to thank everybody for listening in. Please share this with family, friends, neighbors, coworkers. Brandie's had a major transformation. Thank you for being vulnerable and telling our listening audience your mess is your success, right? Your mess is your success. That's what we say in the mastermind. Your mess is your success, and you've made your mess your success in order to help out people, and you're changing the world one spine at a time, one webinar at a time, one person at a time. And I really admire you for that. So thank you for sharing today.
It's the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
Is it?
It's the first nice thing you've said to me.
I was going to say, that may be the first nice thing I've ever said to you.
Have a good day.
All right, everybody. Have a good day. Be the best version of yourself. Dr. Brandie, hold on one second. All right, everybody. Take care. Thank you for listening in.